Good morning, Breakfast Club family. This is Mark Stevens for your host, Joe Shoup. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. For those of you that are new to the Breakfast Club, we welcome you. Hopefully you've come for some education and for some good things to help grow your business. For those that have been coming, you're always welcome because we're family. So hope you had a great day yesterday. Looking for a great day today at the start of the week. That might be confusing to some people because most of you look at it as the end of the week, but we look at it as the start of our week. So we start planning and getting ready for next week. We started on Friday, so that's where that comes from. This morning, I decided that I'm going to go down a rabbit hole a little bit. And the reason I'm going to do that is because there's a lot of things happening, and I've told you that our presentation, business presentation, addresses a lot of these things. But I'm going to say probably some things that you probably haven't heard before, and I just want you to ponder them and think about what I'm saying. But first, let me say good morning to Joe and Vic. How you gentlemen doing?
Morning, Mark. Morning. Want to cover a few things before we get going. Morning, Victor. He's muted, but we'll say good morning to him anyway. All right. Well,
good morning, everybody.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So, Mark, I just want to remind everyone of a couple of things, and that is the Tools Rock invitation letters. Now, everybody should know, if you have that system, that you have the ability to go into those letters. I don't recommend you changing them, but some people feel as though they add this and take out that or whatever they're doing. Obviously, we don't know when you do that. But we have tweaked the first two letters again a little bit. Paulette made some suggestions that we liked, and we've tweaked them again. And we will be doing that as we move along. So in order to make that change for you, if you chose to tweak those two letters, you're going to need the letter. And at this stage, it won't automatically change when we change it in the admin section. They don't automatically change for you. You have to change them. So I guess the only way to do this is for you to send me an email and tell me you'd like to change them, but make sure you put your phone number on there so I can call you. If I get enough people that go, Joe, I want to make the change, I will then have a conference call and we can do it all together. Doing it one at a time is at least a 10 to 15 minute call for me, and I don't want to take 20 calls and do that. So if you send me an email, this is the way we always ask you to, name, email, phone, and the reason you're writing that letter, what request you have, then I'll see. The second thing is in the USA Lead program, so we're sending those letters out from there initially. That's where they're going out. But we are tweaking also the front end of the business presentation funnel. We are tweaking that, and it is not done yet. We're getting a mock-up today. It'll look exactly the same. There are a few people that made suggestions, and we changed the front end. So what will happen on the front end of the funnel from now on is a person, the words are definitely different on the front. It tells them a little bit more about what they're about to see, and gives them more instructions about the back end. They will be able to fill out a form on the back end if they request an interview, but on the front end, they will only have to enter their first name and an email, and that part, the email, will be optional for them. And then they will be able to immediately see the presentation. And so that's how we're going to let them in instead of filling out the form. And one of the reasons, once again, we're tweaking. We want a higher open rate. We want a higher opt-in rate. Our open rate is right where it should be. If you also send me that email that you want help with that, I also have a chart showing you the open rate and the opt-in rate of many industries when you are doing an email campaign. That chart is also available that I could send to you. I'm not just going to randomly send that out there, but if you wanted that, you can send me an email. If you don't, send it to me in the proper way, which means name, email, phone, and the request. I'm not responding. I'm not doing that anymore. I can't do it that way. It's just the way we work, and that's the way it'll be. So make sure that you send those requests to me. That information is very valuable. So we are getting a nice open rate, meaning that the amount of emails that you send out, the percentage of people that are opening, is very good. It's right where the industry says it should be for marketing and advertising. However, the opt-in rate is low. So we're tweaking that to make it easier for people to open that up. So we're not afraid to tell you what the stats are when it's happening. That's why we do these things, so we can test and run and tweak, and that's what we're doing. So that's where we are. We're tweaking some things. I'm excited about the change because I love the front end of this now, Mark. Some of the language that some people came up with. Paulette was very instrumental in making some changes there. Victor was instrumental in that as well. Paulette added some things that really, I think, enhance it. So I think we'll see a little different return, and we'll find out if that's the answer to the opt-in and whether or not they have to actually give you all that information. From now on, they'll only have to give you their first name, which obviously means they will not be tracked at that point as far as the person themselves. So that's what I wanted to say, Mark. I hope you had a good morning this morning, and I did, and over to you, and we'll get started.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Have a great morning. Now, let me preface this, and I even put a disclaimer in here. This has, in a sense, nothing to do with Karatbars, what I'm going to say. This is coming from me, Mark Stevens, to my family on the Breakfast Club. And if you knew something that was detrimental or could be detrimental to your family, when would you tell them? Or would you tell them? So as I kind of go through this, and usually I don't use any notes, but I kind of put some down here because it's so very important. But I will say this. Over the years, I have taught people how to read between the lines. And that's what I'm saying to you, family. I want you to read between the lines what I'm going to say, because when you go down a rabbit hole, it gets people upset. And if the reason it gets them upset because they know you're right, and they don't want you to know about it because of the way that it's affecting you to their benefit and not yours. Now, the question is, what is the most important economy that you know of? And we know the answer to that, or we should know the answer to that, and that is the most important economy is the one in your very own home. And the things that you do affects the economy in your home. Now, there are things that other people do that affect the economy in your home if you don't know about it, or if you don't know what's happening to you and why. And so I'm going down a rabbit hole this morning because you need to know this, because a lot of things are happening quickly in our country, in our cities, in our states, in our counties, in our communities. And it's very important. And if you care about your community, if you care about your family, if you care about your friends and everything, you'd want to share things with them that they would know so that they don't be as injured as they could be by not knowing. You know, people say that knowledge is power. Well, I always beg to differ with them. I always say that the use of knowledge is power, because we do have a lot of educated derelicts out here. And if you don't use what you know to your benefit for you and your family and your friends, what good is it? Now, I'm going to talk about society a little bit. And I'm actually going to be talking about two societies. The societies that you know, and the reason that you know it is because you've been trained in it, you've been educated in it, and you also have been dumbed down in it. I'm not calling you dumb. What I mean by the term dumb is unknowing. It's not that you're stupid or anything like that. See, people use those terms in the wrong way, and I always told you that words have thoughts and meanings and pictures. Now, the society that we live in is about two things. Let me say that again. The society that we live in is about two things: money and power. That's what attracts a lot of people, money and power. And that's what this society is about. Now, here's the other thing. It's said that if it moves, you regulate it. If it changes people's lives, you investigate it. And if they make money, you tax them. Now, kind of read between those lines. I'm going to start going over my notes with you, and in the end, I will allow you to ask some questions. Now, I may entertain the question or I may not, depending upon what the question is, for reasons that may or may not have to be that way. So don't let that bother you, though. As I said, I'm talking about society, and there's more than one. Now, the society that we know of is the one, again, that has been taught to us through grade school, middle school, high school, college, and then there's the other society. And this is the society that basically has taught this society for their own reasons. So I want you to think about what I'm saying as I go through this. And I also want you to think about the business presentation. This is why I told you should look at it every day, and you should think about what's in it, because you can help a lot of people. Now, the other society says this: never mention what life would be like without a state, national, and world economy. Keep their eyes glued and their minds focused on and their energy employed to owning shiny baubles. Let me read that again. Never mention what life would be like without a state. And see, a lot of people depends on the state to take care of them. National and world economy. Remember, the most important economy is the one in your very own home. Not just national, not just world. Keep their eyes glued and their minds focused on and their energy employed to owning shiny baubles. Now, we can't control a people who are self-sufficient. What are you trying to do? We're all trying to become what? Self-sufficient. But if we become self-sufficient, what did they say? They say they can't control a people who are self-sufficient. Therefore, what did I say earlier? If it moves, you regulate it. If it changes people's lives, you investigate it. And if it makes money, you tax them. Now, and if we can't control them, we can't feed them. If we can't control them, we can't feed off them. Now, there are people that don't mind getting government assistance and things like that, and there's some people that need it because of the position that they have put in. So they say, well, they wouldn't do that to us. What did they just say? If we can't feed off of them, if we can't control them. When people are giving you things, when the other society is giving you things, they control you. Why? Because you need them and you need what they have. Now, Imagine the nightmare, and this is the other society talking. Imagine the nightmare if they stopped working for the Bibles. Stop working for us. Who are you working for, Breakfast Club family? Think about that. Who are you working for? We would have to be like them, join them, be equal to them, and I'll be damned if I will submit to such a thing. The other society don't want to be like us. They don't want to join us. They don't want to be equal to us. And they said they'll be damned if they will submit to such a thing. So the things that we want to do and that we want to change and help the real society that we care about, they don't want to have that. They're not having that. Now, like I said, keep thinking about the business presentation for those of you that know it and that have studied it, and think about what I'm saying. Today, this is the other society again. Today, we control the money, the debt, their lives. And we control the media, which has made it possible for us to ensnare them. Remember the other day I said, don't believe everything that you read and that you read in the newspaper and see on TV? You heard me say those things, right? Okay. That was me talking because I love you. Now, this is them talking. And they definitely can't stand me. I can tell you that now. So let me start that again. Today we control the money, their debt, their lives, and we control the media, which has made it possible for us to ensnare them in an endless cycle of consumption for our benefit, for our lifestyles, for our pleasures. Now, what that simply means is that the things that you consume, the cycle of debt that you're in, that you're not getting any benefit from, and for the lifestyles that you think, like keeping up with the Joneses, are for their pleasures. Why? We live in a debt-based society, and it's for their pleasure, not yours. Okay. Now, this other society gets deep, y'all. I mean, they get deep. And many of you don't even know this. You have no inkling of what's going on. It says, they say, we control the world, the lives of billions, play them like pawns in chess, like pieces in Monopoly, like armies in Risk. And guess what? It's a grand game, and we are the game masters, but only if we keep them from discovering the truth, that there is a better way. What's in our presentation? We say we want to teach them there's a better way. If they ever learn that they can serve themselves and have more joy, peace, and happiness, we will become irrelevant and lose our elite status. Yeah, I'm talking about the so-called elite, because they do exist. They ain't elite to me, but they do exist. And we're at war with them, whether you realize it or not. The very most important economy is the one in your home, not the one that the so-called elite control, because they do control it. Now, here's what the other society is saying. Some are waking up. I woke up a long time ago, and I'm trying to get you awake if you're not awake. I'm not saying that you're not, because I might be preaching to the choir to some of you. I don't know. But I will say this. Much is given, much is required. It's said that you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Well, I'm going to give you my definition of that. It's the truth that you know that makes you free. because everything is not the truth. And if you know something, you don't have to believe it. If you actually know it, you don't have to believe it. Now, they say that some of us are waking up. It says that they're starting to question the laws we have put in place to keep them from becoming self-sufficient. Did you hear that? Laws have been put in place to keep you from becoming self-sufficient. And that ticks me off, because you're messing with my family now. You're messing with their livelihood. You're messing with the economy in their home. And it says they want to keep you from becoming self-sufficient, self-serving, and independent. We are independent affiliates. Why? Because we chose to be. We chose not to depend on somebody else for our livelihood. We chose to depend of not being involved per se and run by the system, but creating our own system and creating our own freedom and economy. Now, listen to what they say. It says that the very laws we have passed are the culprits that are waking them. That awaken a thinking population. For they reveal how we have enslaved them. Did you hear that? How we have enslaved them. Now, remember, I've said time and time again, you're still slaves, but you're financial slaves. You're not toting a barge and lifting bales. You're not doing other things, but you are being educated in a way that they prefer you to be educated, and they don't like that. When you wake up and say, wait a minute, this don't make sense. This 40-40-40 plan don't work. What has happened to me? What has been done to me? That's when you start to wake up, and that's what they don't like. It also, that society also feels this way. We must do more to keep their eyes and minds on the baubles and away from the laws of their servitude. We must do a better job to dumb them down. Oh, I said a little earlier, didn't I? And these are their words. Or else eliminate the awake ones. Did you hear that? Or also eliminate the awake ones. This is why they don't like people like me. And they may not like you if you decide, well, you know what, Mark? This is great information you're giving me. I want to find out what's going on and why the certain things are happening to me and why I can't get above the water, why I can't get financial freedom, why I can't do what I want to do when I want to do it, and how I want to do it, and who I want to do it with. So they're talking about eliminating those ones of us. If they ever find out that they don't need us, we are doomed. This is the other society saying this, that if we ever find out what they're doing to us, they are doomed. And you know what? They are doomed because it's happening. And then they say this: we must increase crime. Has crime been increasing? Yes, it has. We must increase terror. Has terror been increasing? Yes, it has. We must increase war and fear. Has that been increasing? Yes, it has. But my definition of fear is false evidence appearing real. Everything you see on TV is not real. Some of those wars are not real. Some of those people are not real. You can make a video, you can make a film, and you can make it sound and say and look any way that you want to. It's called propaganda. And there's a lot of it going on. And we've been given a lot of it for a lot of years. Not outside the country, but inside the country as well. Now, they're saying that, and see what it is, because we're waking up and it's affecting them, they're saying that they have to increase the crime, the terror, and the war, and the fear, because that dumbs people down. That gets them scared. That makes you not want to act and react and do the things that you need to do. to gain your freedom, to gain your financial freedom, to gain your time freedom. I mean, does it make sense to work the first 3 months of the year for your money to go somewhere else? And your country is $18 trillion in debt, and they want to make your children and my children and your grandchildren and my grandchildren pay for it? Think about what I'm saying. And if I sound a little angry, I am when it comes to my family. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight for you. And my anger is directed at them, the so-called elite. So it says, we must increase crime, terror, and war and fear, and we must keep their minds occupied with surviving, and we must sell them on that we are their only saviors. Remember what I said earlier? If they're giving you, if they're doing this for you and everything, they make you think that they're your saviors. They wouldn't, my country wouldn't do this to me. My people, my congressman or my council member would not do this to me. Well, first of all, you got to know who they really are. Second of all, you got to know what they're really about. And third of all, if they're not right, you need to kick them out. Yeah, I said it. I meant it. The problems we create must be so huge, so large, and so big that the reason and logic mandates that only big government can solve them. Only we can solve them. Now, like I said, read between the lines. They said only big government can solve them and only we can solve them. So if big government and we, if you put them together and they're called the elite, what that's telling you? What does that tell you? Think about that. And then that society of so-called elite goes on to say that, but we have to be more careful that the things don't get out of control. Do you like being controlled? The problem must appear real, but not real. Oh my goodness. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what they said? The problem must be real, but not real. What did I just say? Don't believe everything you see on TV, read in the newspaper, and see what's going on over here, over there, whatever, because a lot of it is not necessarily real. That society, that elite, so-called elite, they do these things to bend your mind, to tell you all these things are going on so that you come running to them so they can continue to control you. We must not be controlled. Therefore, we must make our own lot. And they want to make it too hard. Then that which was not real may become real and explode in our faces. They want these things to explode in our faces. They want us to believe everything, all this crap that they're giving us, that's not even true. They're saying this. And I'm going to end here because then I'm going to say what I've got to say. Too many people are waking up. Yeah, it's a wake-up call. I'm giving you a wake-up call right now. That presentation that Joe and I put together is a wake-up call for all of us. And that's why we're so important. You're important. I am important. We're important to each other as a family. And that's why I say help us to be the change that we want to see in the world, because the world needs us. And guess what? Not only can we make changes, but they'll even pay us for this. They'll even pay us for rescuing ourselves. But they're not paying us, we're paying ourselves. Because what I want us all to have is a lifestyle by design, by doing good. And when you do that, the money hunts you down. If you make a loving, now I didn't say a living, I say if you make a loving by doing good, the money will hunt you down. I like that one that I came up with. You make a loving instead of a living, and the money will hunt you down. Y'all don't mind that. I pat myself on the back on that one. And look, listen at what they say, because I mean, sometimes I just want to That's how I get sometimes, because you messing with my family. They say this. It says that too many people are waking up. It says they are prepping. They are forming self-sufficient communities. Yes, we are so-called elite. We are doing that. We are prepping. We are forming self-sufficient communities. That's our Carrot Bars community. That's our Breakfast Club community. Yes, we are. It says they are going back to the land that they are planting and harvesting. Yes, we are planting, and we do plan on harvesting. They are organizing among themselves. Are we not organizing among ourselves? Yes, we are. And guess what? We are making them start to tremble. They've been beating us up for over 100 years, and now we're fighting back. It says that we're doing this among ourselves, and said they're providing and satisfying their own needs and wants and desires and pleasures and comforts. To those folks, we are becoming increasingly irrelevant. Yes, so-called elite of the society, you've always been irrelevant. We just waking up to it, and now we're going to change it. We turning the tables on you chumps. It says they have no need for a state. No, I don't want the state to take care of me. They have no need for a national world economy. No, I don't, though, because the most important economy is the one in my home, and I'm going to develop that economy the way I want to, that you don't continually steal from me. They're providing for themselves. Yes, we are providing for ourselves. We must destroy them. No, you can't destroy us because we are too strong. We're too loving. We're too real. You can't destroy us. You've been trying for hundreds of years and you still haven't done it. Because our Creator is not going to allow it. We must destroy them, or we will be destroyed. Let's get to work. You can work, and you can work all you want to, but you will not destroy us. You will not destroy this Carrot Bars family. You will not destroy this Breakfast Club family. You will not destroy us, because we are too strong, and we're too believing, and we believe in one another and not you. Now let me close with this. The world is in the shape and condition it's in part because we as a majority have bought into the shiny bobble mentality. Remember, you seen them bobbleheads? You know, they just bob in their head, do anything that they're told, and all they know how to do is bobble, bobble, bobble. That's not us. That's not us. If anybody is elite, we're elite, because we're elite in the right way. We love them, can't live without them, must have them, and we continue to think they are worth everything. And we are. And I'm talking about us now. We love each other. We can't live without each other. We need each other. And we continue to think that we are worth everything, and we are to each other. However, more and more people are waking up. You know why? Because we're waking them up. We're giving them the wake-up call. And they have come to realize that life without them is richer and more fulfilling and more joyful. Right? Without that other society and that so-called elite, we are waking up. We are realizing that our life is richer in a lot of ways and more fulfilling and more joyful. That's why I stay as happy as I stay, because I got my freedom. It ain't hard if you know how to get it, and if you really want it, and if you're willing to fight for it. Back to the land of small communities will be the future, if there is one, and there probably will be. No, ain't no probably, it will be. The future is now, and we're shaping the future. So here's my final say. And this is because I fight for you, because I love you. We don't need no stinking economy, because we know how to control the most important economy, and that's the one in our very own home. We don't need not state. We don't need the state to take care of us, especially if it's not real. Not national. We don't need that. Not world. We don't need that. We just need each other. We just need each other at the local level, which is where we are now. And we don't need money or banks. Because first of all, the money that the so-called elite give us is what you call fiat cash. Nothing but paper, ain't worth the paper or ink that is written on. It goes down. Since 1913, it's gone down almost 99% now. And that's what they give us. That's what they want us to work for. And then the banks are the thieves. You know why? Because they control the banks. The banks are theirs. We can create our own bank. And we create the bank in our home with real money, with gold, silver, platinum, palladium. That's what we do. And for those of you that are not doing it, we want to help you to do it. Now I can go on, and I'm telling you, the rabbit hole is deep. I'm just beginning. And we're going to do more. I'm going to do more of this. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this too. Sometimes we may even have to take an even more private platform to do that, and I'll do it if I have to. Because much is given, much is required, much has been given to me, and it's required of me to let you know, to help educate you, to share with you, so that you can get out from under the foot that's on your neck. So, I'm happy because I told you what I need to tell you today. And I hope and I pray that you take it in the spirit that it was given. Because guess what? You don't need to be regulated. You don't need to be investigated. And you don't need to be taxed. So with that being said, I'm going to check the chat room for a minute before we close out. And I'll share some of the comments that we're getting. Matt says, the dog talks. Wally says, Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Max says, and see, I'm being honest. That's me. I don't know of any other way. Max says, now I'm reading these without have read them at first, because that's full disclosure. Max says, this is a little unexpected, but could you please ask everyone if they would like to attend re-airing of Computers 101 with the Pixel Guy? Okay, Max. How to keep your computer secure? I get enough people. If I get enough people, I'll probably re-air it the week after next week, so I have time to prepare and people can contact me with their requests. Okay, Max, I've read that to them. And no, you didn't expect this, but it's for you to know so that you can live in the freedom that your Creator intended for you to live. Ronnie says, wow, awesome, Mark. Bill says, appreciate your information. Matt says again, the dog talks. So, with that being said, Vic, do you have any comment that you want to make before we close out?
I'm right there with you, brother. I've been looking at this a long time, and you put it very well.
Okay. Now, I know Joe had to go away to take care of some things.
I'm here right now.
Okay. Now, Joe, I want to say this. This is the importance of the presentation that we put together, because it addresses all of this and it can cure all of this if we take the time, like you said, go to work, learn the communication, learn what we need to learn so that we can share it with the people in the world and that we can help set them free. What's your comment on that?
No, I agree, Mark. You know, it's, you know, as you said earlier, and I did hear the whole thing, as you know, I just was skimming around, working with a couple of things with Anson to get squared away, but I still had our sound on. But as you said, some people, maybe they were aware of it. I don't think most people are aware of what's going on, and most people don't want to know. Here, we want to know. Why? Because there's a solution, there is a reality, and you're right. If people would just take a look, instead of running around buy gold, buy gold, buy gold without an explanation, without any reasoning other than, the world's collapsing, the dollar's falling apart, which most people don't believe anyway. And I don't believe that, they'll allow that to happen right now in our lifetime, that the dollar will just disappear like it did in Greece. And that's not going to happen here. What's going to happen is what you said. That is happening. It's not that it's gone. It is. And we have to be aware of it. You can't fix something unless you're aware of it. You have to identify what the problem is in order to fix a problem. And we have a solution for people to quietly move along and take care of their own household. That's why we talk about what we talk about. Get your own house in order. Get the information necessary to get it in order and teach others to do the same. And it's important. Our presentation is different from everyone else's because it addresses this. The other presentations address a company and how to exchange cash for gold, or if you're in other companies, how to buy, fruits and pills and potions and things. It's fine. All that stuff is great. But most people want to enhance their life and their lifestyle for themselves and their family. And you, as Victor said, you nailed it. You hit it on the head. This is what people need to know. Our presentation addresses these issues. Get them fixed. Learn what's happened to society, to the baby boomers, to the millennials, to the Generation X, to just learn from the mistakes and make the changes. And if it is too late for you, it's never too late, but if it's, getting things fixed takes time, and it takes time and consistency when you're building for the future. If some of us don't have the future that others have, meaning time-wise, you need to teach your family who do have time. Well, maybe it's your grandchildren, maybe it's your children, but they need to know the information by giving them a presentation. Like, we haven't had one person, actually we did, we had one person, I won't mention who it is, that looks at this presentation and says, wow, that hits home. We only had one that said, oh, okay. And surprisingly, but that's just because they're not in touch with reality. They want to, shovel things under the carpet and say it doesn't exist. It exists. What we show in that presentation exists, and we need to address it to help everyone get their financial house in order and teach them how to have a successful business. Instead of these gurus running around, all they care about, we had an incident yesterday about that, all they care about is, are you making them money? Are you making them money? Making them money. That's what they want to know when they talk to you. Are you buying gold every week? Oh, what's happening with this? What's happening with that? That's because they're selfish, and all they care about is them. So if you're dealing with uplines like that, stay in tune with what Mark's teaching you and learn how to get your financial house in order and care about the people that you bring to the table. Because there are plenty of uplines in all these companies that don't care about you. They only care about, did you buy it every week? You should be buying it. If you don't, you're not going to get this, or we're not going to let you do that. It's pretty selfish. This industry is full of that, and this company is no exception. Plenty of people like that, and as I said, we had that incident happen yesterday. Who were all concerned about their own income, and never once was there a question of, how can I help? How can I help other people, and how can I reach down with your group, Joe, and help them out? None of that. So hope they listen to this today. and give me a call. So, Mark, we're here to help people. Doesn't matter what group you're in. What you said today is absolutely right on, and we need to help one another to understand what's going on here, and our presentation does that. So have a great day today, buddy.
Right. So, again, I want to reiterate, and I want to encourage you as my family. This is why I say bring your people to the Breakfast Club, because they'll get here what they won't get somewhere else. If they don't get anything else here, they'll get truth. You know, they'll get truth. And we will give you truth. We will make it plain. We won't play games. And if it's a little hard sometimes, it's a little hard. But it's at least reality. And reality is what we all need. We all need a dose of reality. And, you know, I don't live my life for myself. I live my life for you. That's how the Creator made me. And I don't like injustice. Color doesn't matter. Nationality doesn't matter. Whatever faith you are doesn't matter. And what I mean by that is that what matters is you to me. And I'm going to do what I can to help. Because if I help you, I'm helping me. And many people have asked me, well, Mark, what can I do for you? And always, this is my answer. It's always this one answer. What you can do for me, if you feel that I have done something for you to touch your life, and you appreciate that and it's beneficial, the best thing you can do for me is not give me money. The best thing that you can do for me is not give me accolades. The best thing you can do for me is do the same for somebody else, and that's an extension of me. That's an extension of Joe Shoup. That's an extension of Victor Shatter. That's an extension of Paulette. That's an extension of everybody on this platform. You, the family, that's an extension of you. So we do enough of that in the next year. Guess what? We will affect the world. We will affect the city, the state, the county, the country, the world. And that's why I say it the way that I say it, because I can't do it by myself. It ain't about me. It's about us. And it's about what we can do to help everybody else. And that's why I love that business presentation so much, because the answer is in that business presentation. If you know what's going on around you, if you know what's affecting you, and then you find out what you can do to change it, and all of that's in that presentation, that's why it's so important to me. Not a 12-week plan, but that presentation. Because if you know that presentation and understand it, you can make your own 12-week plan. You can make it a 12-month plan. You can make it a 12-day plan. You can make it whatever you want to make it. But the thing is that all you need is the knowledge and the communication, because if you don't know how to communicate, you can't connect. So this is why we talk about the importance of the communication class. If you know that and understand the communication class, you can connect with people, and you can put all of this together that you can help and be instrumental in changing somebody else's life. And to me, that's the most important thing to me, and that's how I get paid. I don't get paid by gold. I don't get paid by dollars. I get paid by people's lives changing by what I do and try to contribute to it. That's my joy. That's my pay, and that's why I stay happy. Because I just believe in my heart I'm helping somebody. And I mean, if let me say this. Roger says, please start a monthly called Down the Rabbit Hole with Mark. I thought that was cute. Appreciate that, Roger. So, you know, and Robert says, believe on half of what you read and nothing of what you see. You got to be awake. That's all I'm saying. Wake up. Let's go to work together. Let's change lives together. And guess what? I'm going to tell you, the money will hunt you down. Be careful in the direction that you're headed. And the part I add to that, You might end up there, and you might not can get back. And you might not even like it. So with that being said, Breakfast Club family, Karatbars family, I love you. I really appreciate you. Let's go out today and let's try to touch somebody's life by sharing with them what we have. A life, a career, city, county, state, country, and most of all, let's help change this world. The world needs less stress. They need financial freedom. They need time freedom. They need to spend that freedom with their family, with their friends, with their loved ones, so that they can be happy. But you know what? We must first be the change in us that we want to see in the world. That's our job. That's what we need to do. And if we do enough of that, a lot of people be smiling. A lot of people be wanting to help a lot of other people. And it will emanate from us. So with that being said, peace and blessings to you. This is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shoup, and for Victor as well. Make it a great day, everybody. Peace and blessings to you. And we will see you back here Monday on The Breakfast Club. Have a wonderful weekend.